It's date night, so we're doing steaks, beef, and portobello with potato packets. Join us so you can see how you can do this too. Hi, welcome back to One Dish, Two Ways. I'm Sheila, and Joe's right behind the camera. So today it's all about steak and potatoes. And you might say, Sheila, how are you going to have a steak? Well, I'm going to have a portobello mushroom steak. So this was a great question that we had from a viewer. What do I do when Joe wants to grill a steak? Well, I have figured out that I truly like portobello mushrooms, and they kind of give you that meaty, not that I'm looking for the replacement, but they just got a little more meat to them. Just mushrooms in general do, and especially those. So we're going to start with the potato part of this because we've never shown you guys these. We actually haven't made them in a while, but this used to be like our go-to all the time. And that is these potato packets. So you see I've got the foil laid out here. And I will tell you, my mom and dad made these for years when I was a kid. The problem was, not the problem, the issue was mom never pre-cooked the potatoes in the beginning. So even if you would slice them thin like this, oh my gosh, it was like an hour and a half on the grill. So when I started doing it, when I got married to Joe, I started pre-cooking the potatoes, but I do it simply. I had 4 russet potatoes this morning, a medium size. While we were eating, before we ate breakfast, I washed them, poked some holes in them, and I put them in the microwave for 8 minutes. Then I flipped them, and then I turned it on for 4 more minutes. I let them cool on the counter for like 30 minutes, and then I put them in the fridge. And then before we came on camera, I started slicing them with my julienne. You could do it by hand. I just find that I get more consistent slices when I do it with the mandolin. You got to play with it. I will tell you some of the pieces down below. What would you say, Joe? Is that like a ½ inch? Not even that.
Maybe a 16th.
Okay, I do it small because I don't want them to take forever on the grill. And then I do the onions a little bit thinner than that. This is the Pampered Chef mandolin. So each one's going to be a little different. And I just suggest you just start doing them. So I'm just going to finish this up. And it's like everything with cooking. I will tell you, there's been a time or two where he'll bring them in from the grill and they ain't done. And we got to throw them onto the skillet. That has happened to us before. It's just part of life. So I'm going to put the last of the potatoes in here. I've also got a few peppers in there. Joe doesn't like a lot of the peppers, so I didn't do too many of those. Now, historically, when I made them before I started doing this lifestyle, I would put butter or oil on them, which it served 2 purposes. It would keep them from sticking, but it really didn't, because the ones all at the bottom always did stick a little. Those were always my favorite ones because they were kind of like burnt, and I kind of like burnt food. And the other thing it did was it gave the spices something to hold on to, because these potatoes at this moment are pretty dry. Your onions have a little bit of water in them, but it's not a ton. So I got to thinking, I don't want to use broth. I didn't have any opened or anything. Aha! Let's use a little dill pickle juice. That's what I'm going to use. Just a small amount. So this is about 1 tablespoon. And that should be all that we need so that we can mix all the spices up on here. So spices, we've got 4 right here. We're going to start with minced onion. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of minced onion. You can use whatever flavors your family likes. Or if you have a packet of something that you like, you could use that. Well, this is weird. It's sticking. There we go. Sometimes it clumps. Oh, did I seriously just do that? Blooper reel. Okay, so there's 1 tablespoon of the minced onion. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of pepper. You guys know I get kind of a heavy hand with the pepper. 1 tablespoon of paprika. This is smoked paprika. It doesn't say it on here, but I know that's what's in here. So I'm going to do the smoked paprika. Okay. And then last but not least, the good old garlic powder that we love so much. Yeah, good question, Joe. I'm not sure what's happening tonight. Apparently, I'm super hungry. And I'm going to do 1.5 tablespoons of the garlic powder just because we love garlic powder. Okay, and now all we need to do is stir this up. And then we'll put them on the packet. Some other things we have learned over the years of doing this. I might need a little bit more of the juice. Don't fill the packets too full. You fill them too full, they don't cook all the way, and they just take that much longer. So I suggest go with less potatoes until you kind of figure out the rhythm for yourself. These are also great to go on the grill if you're camping, to go in an open fire. That works also. And the ratio of onions to potatoes is completely your choice. Now, when our son lived at home, I did put potatoes in his packet because I knew I didn't put onions in his packet because he didn't like onions. So sometimes I've done these individually for each person, and sometimes I've done them in a bulk. We both like all of this, so I'm doing it in a bulk. Okay, so I've got that all stirred up. So let's move this. The other thing I have learned over the years, and this is just general, I don't do the foil this way anymore. I do it this way. I think the stuff stays in there better because what you want to create is a steam pocket. So if these potatoes will finish cooking and then all those flavors will meld together. So I'm going to try to go with 3 packets. I have the foil over here if I find that maybe they're too full and I've got to make a 4th packet. And Joe could speed up during this part if this takes too long. Let me put a little bit more in this one. And then let me come over here. This looks like it's going to be perfect. I'm just going to stick it in the middle of the top piece of foil. Same with spices. If you made them individual packets. Oh, actually, this would be a fun little party idea. You could have the potatoes already ready to go with some different toppings of things, and then people could make their own, like at a campfire. Ooh, that'd be good for a family camping trip. Look at that, coming up with ideas all the time. Always thinking about it. Okay, so now let's do this. You're going to roll this down and then bring these in. So we've got this part rolled, this is open, but now we're going to fold, and then bring this one in just like that. Joe will not have to open these up or anything. He will just need to let them do their thing. So what temperature do you normally put the grill on, honey, when you do these?
Probably will put those on in 1/2 without the heat directly under it, and then just let them kind of cook like an oven.
Yes. And he's going to put these on before he puts the steaks. He'll put this on and my mushrooms, and then for 20 minutes they'll cook. Then he'll put his steak on, cook it. These will still stay on there. And what do you think your steaks will take? 30 or 10 minutes? Approximately? Maybe. Okay. Then, so that it will be a total of 30 minutes that you would have the potatoes on the grill. Again, if you get it up here, if you get it upstairs or to the table and you're like, oh, that's the other reason I pre-cook them. These are probably 80% of the way there. So it's just the last 20% and getting those flavors to meld. So if you were going to do it from scratch, that's the other thing I too like is, like, I could cut those before we came on camera because I knew they weren't going to turn. They were mostly cooked. So that was helpful too. I know I've got a mess. Other thing is you can always have a big tray for you to carry stuff to the grill, like a sturdy tray. We used to try doing like little dinky ones and then the food would, we had food fall on the floor. It's not worth it. That's perfect. Okay, let's talk about the steak. So we're going to start with mine. And so the first time that we did these after I became whole food plant-based, you see what happened. They start peeling off, and then he was losing some of it in the grates of the grill. Then we tried doing the flat top. It was fine, but I got to thinking this time, because this is what happens when you get a portobello mushroom. The way I do it, so I've got a marinade on there right now, but when you first get them open, I take a spoon and first I take this nubby out take it off and stick it in the thing. Then I take a spoon and I get rid of these gills. They have a weird texture to me. And the first time I did the portobello mushrooms, I was like, why do they have like a weird texture? And then I watched a video and somebody said, take those gills out. And ever since then, it's a game changer. But in the process of taking them out, sometimes these things like come off and everything. So I thought this time I'm going to have Joe, I'm going to put them in a foil packet and have Joe put them on the same time he does the potatoes. And I think that's going to be perfect. Because, spoiler alert, we're going to take these leftovers and turn them into a phenomenal breakfast on the next video. But that's a spoiler alert. So what I marinated these in is some balsamic vinegar. That deep, not a flavored one, just a balsamic vinegar. And then my all-purpose seasoning with the garlic, the pepper, the onion powder. And that's what I did. And I've only been marinating for, mine only need like 30 minutes. They don't need long at all. While I was prepping for the video is when I did that. So let's put these in foil. We're going to do the same thing. Put it in a tea. And then put these down. Then we'll move on to Joe's steaks. And this way, if they fall apart, it's no big deal. And all the things that did already fall off are now right there. And they'll get cooked too. Boy, that smells so good. So, so good. Okay. Well, okay. So same thing. Now roll, tuck, and then over. If you do make potato packets that are different and you're trying to figure out what's, like if you had a whole bunch of people and you were trying to do it, you can put little marks on them. They tend to stay. So just FYI, we've had to do that before, like with the different potato packets. So now we've got the portobellos ready to go. And now we've got to worry about Joe's. So what did I tell you? What kinds of steaks did I say I bought for you?
Sirloin.
Yeah. So these are 2 sirloin steaks. And he does tend to marinate them before he does it. And today he told me to marinate it in A1. That's simple. So that's what I did. I'm one of these people that puts the marinade on, put the lid on, and then I shaky. And I shook it every time it came. I went in the fridge today a couple times. And so all he has to do, now these are a decent size. So he likes them medium rate. What do you like? Medium well?
Medium well.
Yeah. So those will be on there for probably 10, 12 minutes. And once they're done, he'll be good to go. And so he's going to take all this out on the grill. And when we come back, we'll show you how we're going to taste test it. And we'll show you what everything looks like. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, as you can see, Joe has brought everything up. Now, I haven't opened these up yet. But another thing about steak and other meats that you cook on the grill, it's always best to let them rest. So that's what this is going to do while we talk about the other things. So we're going to serve with the standard steak, potato, and salad. So on Joe's, we both got pumpkin seeds. We now do seeds instead of croutons. He's got celery, radishes, carrots, and some sugar snap peas that I cut up. And then we've got a mix of lettuces. And mine has way more than that. Put fruit on your salad, y'all. I got a clementine today. It just does something to your salad. I love it. So we'll have salads with it. But now let's open. And I have no idea which packet's which. So
The one with the... This is the mushroom.
Oh, okay. Let's open that first. Oh, yes. Look at those. How awesome. And they smell so good. So let me dig one out. Ooh, and some of the pieces that fell off. I'll take some of this. Now, one idea to serve with this is rice, and then you could put that liquid over the rice. I might have to have 2. I'm super hungry. We've been cleaning all day. Okay, so that's the mushrooms. Let's push that off to the side. And now let's open up one of the potato packets. Dum da da dum. I can feel the steam. Oh my gosh, these look so good. So, potatoes are, sorry. Is that better? There we go. Potatoes are, you see they're falling apart. They're done. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. Let's put them on our plate. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know how many potatoes you want. So they will fall apart. They're most likely not going to stay in those perfectly good shapes. Oh, look, we got the stuff at the bottom. That's my favorite part is when they get crispy like that. Yum, 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 yum. You got that? Mm. Oh. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. So shall we try? We might not burn our mouth so much on this meal compared to other meals we've done. Are you gonna add more? Oh, so Joe's gonna add salt to his potatoes, which that's not, that's. And some people might want to add more pepper or butter. They could do that too. So I'm digging in. I'm trying everything all at once. That balsamic vinegar just deepens the flavor of that mushroom, and then those seasonings. Those potatoes are perfectly cooked. I know you were skeptical about the pickle juice. Can you taste it on the potatoes? To me, it gives a little bit of a salty flavor, but not so overwhelming.
I don't necessarily taste the pickle juice, but you can tell there's something there, but you wouldn't be able to identify it. But it's fine. Tastes really good.
Good. So did you want to try your steak?
I know what steak tastes like.
Okay, well, there you go. There's your answer, everyone. So, as you see, we did 2 steaks, which is going to give Joe plenty of leftovers. We have lots of potatoes left over. So tomorrow, the next video, for you, it'll be the next video. For us, it's tomorrow for breakfast. Because this is like Saturday night date night for us. So you're going to see what we do with some of these leftovers. So we will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. And thanks so much for joining us on One Dish, Two Ways. Basil, say goodbye. She smells steak, so that's why she's here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Have a great week.